the primary design is much larger, where the secondary doesn't. This really stands out, but the secondary design doesn't. And this design, Flora called it shooting arrows, and I don't know if any other Ts'msyen called it that. But like the Haida, she also called this cresting wave.
I think that it's great that there's two of Flora's baskets here, because you can see how she handled each of them with a different secondary design, where she did alternating color and she just did one, and then on the other one a strawberry. She's doing designs that she can not worry about the count, because the spaces are not
Not important.
important.
For a design like this is where the count is really important
Right, it is.
Yeah,
because it goes all the way around.
technically, this isn't a beginner's pattern that I would try to teach a first-time weaver on here, to do. I would probably make the decision to do the wild strawberry. So here, on Flora's, she had alternating colors, and she had a strawberry design, which is when two rows are combined and step over one and makes it into a slant. This requires an odd number, because if it was 70, your count is 72. When you go around, it'll stack and make a pillared.
What Flora would do if she came around and she wanted this, she'd just put one back and then cut it off later.
Okay.
So that it was an uneven number of the 72 and she wanted that, then she'd just pull one back. But if she wanted, if it made it mathematically easier for the secondary design, then when she went back up, because if the secondary design had 72, then she'd add one before she got to the design field. So you have all kinds of options when you're putting your design in.
Did you ever create any of the designs for her?
Yeah, on paper. I forgot what it's called.
Graph paper.
The squares. Yeah,
Yeah,
graph
yeah.
paper. Yeah, I did a whole bunch of them. I don't remember.
Oh, I did a killer whale for her before, but I don't see any of them here. But
Yeah,
this little whale here, I remember she
Yeah,
used to
there you
be.
go.
She had those on graph paper.
Yeah.
These were her patterns, and so one thing I noticed from working with her is that she really liked to use the old, she knitted it as well, and so the old fisherman sweaters with the zippers, I don't know if you guys remember those, so she would take those patterns, and I noticed that a lot of people around here would take those patterns and maybe tweak them or use them, so when she was trying to figure out the pattern on her basket, she would kind of make sure that she wrote on them. So she knew it was 24 across, so she needed to count. She knew that it had to be 11 deep. The big thing about the pattern that I was taught from Lillian was that you really had to plan ahead and make sure that when you were making your basket, you knew how many ladies that you needed to have, because when you started to go up, you needed to know, like you had to have that pattern thought out in your head so that it turned out right when you started the false embroidery. So that's why when you look at the patterns, you can see all the times that she counted the different directions. So most of the patterns say whatever the width and the length was. And then she would also decide how many times she wanted to repeat a pattern. So a lot of times it was either 2 or 3. She'd have to figure out how this was going to work all the way around. So she'd have to count out how many ladies and how many times that was going to go around and make sure that it matched up. But anyway, if you want copies of her patterns that she used, you're welcome. I just made copies of them.